You back, Rob?
I'm here.
Okay, we got it. Perfect. Thank you. We're back on line, Dylan. Thank you. All right. All right, moving back. Action items. Item 7.1, DP 25-077, slab on grade house. Mr. Thibault?
Okay, so we'll have Ms. Selena Newberry come forward, and this is in direct relationship to the public hearing that we held.
All right, thank you. Ms. Newberry?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Councilors.
Good afternoon.
Before us, we have a development permit application. This is for a slab-on-grade house out in our DC4 district, which most people know as the Meadows. This particular development permit doesn't actually require any variances. It meets all the requirements. It's just because this use is currently a discretionary use in this district.
All right, thank you. Any questions arising whatsoever? All right. Someone prepared to make the required motion. Councilor Bruin?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll make the motion that council approves development permit DP 25-077 for a slab on grade at 4761 72nd Avenue, Unit 9, Condo Plan 2210424 with the following 13 conditions.
All right, thank you. Motion on the table. Any further discussion? All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. On to item 7.2, review policy C2, council remuneration. Mr. Thibault?
I'll hand this one over to Mr. Rob Osmond, and he can speak to the adjustments put forward in the policy.
All right, thank you, Mr. Osmond. Still with us, sir?
I am. Thank you, Council. This policy was up for review, and so went through. I have a number of minor wording changes just for issues of clarification in sections 2.1, 2.2. And then administration is making the recommendation that section 2.5, that's the section that refers to member-at-large committee for the review of remuneration of council in the fourth year of the council term, be removed from the policy. In the past, council has several times elected not to use this committee, and at other times when they've elected to use it, it's been difficult to find people to sit on the committee. So administration's proposal is that we simply use the information that council or that administration gathers regarding remuneration of council, and that council would use that to then make their decision. So those are the changes outlined in the draft policy in front of you this evening.
All right, thank you, Rob. Any questions arising for Mr. Osmond or Mr. Thibault? Councilor Furr?
No questions, but just a comment that after reviewing the changes, I would be in favor of the changes recommended, with the exception of item 2.5, removing the three-person member-at-large committee. I would like to see that stay in the policy, but change it to a 5-person committee.
All right, thank you, Councilor Firth. I would also agree with that. Actually, the five-person committee seems to be more practical and allowing our public at large to have some input related to this as per the policy initially. And I believe that's a very positive option for our residents, for Taber to be involved. Councilor McLean.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm kind of against that idea. I think that since this council, we're not talking about our own remuneration, we're talking about the next remuneration. I feel like this is almost an at-large committee that can represent the town fair enough for the future council, and that us having the knowledge and the experience can then give a fair and a fair recommendation and put that forward for the future council to be paid at. I don't think that this is I don't know how much you're going to get from the public, but I think that we are a fair enough committee to almost like quote unquote committee to review the remuneration for the future council.
All right, thank you. Councillor Effort.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. To the administration, nobody's really, we've done this a few times and nobody's really signed up for it.
So when looking back, administration has found that there was ads put out, I believe, in the 2017 remuneration, and 3 ads went out, and there wasn't any applicants that came forward to participate in that committee review. That's what administration knows.
Councillor McLean's comments I find valid. You know, we are elected to make these decisions. You know, it's a 3-person committee or a 5-person committee. 5, I guess, is more people. I guess I hope, you know, I guess I'll put it to the public to show up and do this, and, you know, hopefully some people do if we go this way, because, you know, we are elected to make these decisions. So if you want to be part of it, join up.
All right, thank you. Councillor Sorensen.
I think, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I think there's some really valid points on both sides. You know, I always encourage public engagement. However, I do think that we're the most educated in this particular situation because we are sitting where we are sitting. We've experienced, well, some of us more years than others. And then administration has provided us some really crucial information. So I really do think that moving forward, we would be able to come up with the best educated information without using the committee.
All right, thank you. Councillor Firth.
Thank you. And I do agree with some of the points that have been made that, yes, council would have complete information and ultimately it is council's decision. But for me, I would just feel more comfortable with some sort of public input. And I think that if we leave 2.5 in, it says may establish a committee. And I would like to keep that wording so that we can choose whether we think it is appropriate or whether we think it's not. And just so that it's clear that the committee, whether we establish it or not, isn't making the decision. They're just making a recommendation. And I certainly respect the rest of council's decision on this matter.
All right, thank you. Councillor Brun.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I agree with what Councillor Firth is saying. Like we've heard many times before, where this is taxpayers' money that we're spending. When I ran, now I guess 12 years ago, it wasn't about money, and I'd run again for the same salary I'm getting paid now. I enjoy the job, and as councillor, as all of us do. And we do put a lot of work into our jobs. There's a lot of work being on council, a lot more than a lot of people think there is. But if, like Carly first says, we get these committee members to come forward who really want to become involved with the town's policies, I think it'd be great. And see what other communities are paid and what compared to what we are. I think we're at the bottom of the list, pretty much 75th percentile of what other communities make. But I think we should try it, and like Councillor First says, that they make a recommendation to council, such as all of our other committees do, and we either accept it or we tweak it to the way it works better, and I'm 100% on board for that.
All right, thank you. Councillor Firth, did you want to put that in a form of a motion to
Certainly.
be clear? Thank you.
Yep. I move that council approve policy C-2 council remuneration as amended to keep item 2.5, but to change it to a 3-person member at large committee. Or change from 3 to 5. Sorry. Yes, thank
3
you.
to 5-person committee. All right, thank you. All right, thank you, Councillor Firth. Motion on the table. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? All right, defeated. All right. Moving on to item 7.3, councillor remuneration. Mr. Thibault.
So just to be clear, the
Just
policy's
to-
staying the same then, correct?
Pardon me? Say that again?
The policy just stays the same with that being defeated.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm not sure if everybody was clear on what the motion is about.
Right, so there is an ability for council to make another motion on that item if council wanted to make another motion on that item, being there's another alternative or there's the actual recommended motion. Because right now we just have a defeated motion.
That's what I'm saying. So
So someone else, there could be more discussion, there could be another motion put forward.
Councillor McLean?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will move that council approve policy C-2, council remuneration as presented.
Right, motion on the table. All in favor? Opposed? So that's defeated, actually, yeah. That motion's defeated. So again, no. No, I'm just not clear. I think there's confusion here, Mr. Tebow.
There is, in my mind, there is.
Yeah.
You voted for it to not stay the same, and you voted for it to not change.
Right. Councillor Bruin.
If I may, can we have Councillor's first motion read to us again that we all passed?
It didn't pass.
Or didn't pass? Defeated. Could we have that motion read to us again, please?
All right, so the motion read back is that council approved policy C-2, council remuneration, and amend it to keep item 2.5, but to change it from a 3-person committee to a 5-person committee.
Right, so no.
And then it also got defeated to accept the policy as presented. So that would mean that we, in effect, the policy just stays exactly the same as the way it is. If the other thing is
So
defeated.
it's like a double negative
It
here.
is. It's like double negative. That's why it would be nice to have a positive motion out of this, because it's much easier to look back on and to make a decision on. So, yeah, I don't know where council would like to go with that, but I don't know if Mr. Beckering, if you understood what the as presented meant, if you were in favor of the committee or not in favor of the committee.
So basically, everything stays the same, the policy stays the same with the 3-person committee? Yes. Correct? With no changes? Right, correct?
If we don't get a positive motion, then I guess it would stay, but
That's right. That's right.
But we also didn't move to accept it, like it's up for revision as well.
Councillor Sorensen?
I'll take a kick at the can.
Yes.
All right, so I'll make a motion for council to approve C-2 council remuneration policy with the following changes. So 2.1 to strike with a travel and subsistence allowance. 2.2 to strike remuneration and to add per diem for required attendance. And for the rest of the policy, and then to strike item 2.5. So is that almost the same? That's yours?
To strike item 2.5?
As presented. Then I withdraw my motion.
All right, motion withdrawn. So we're back to square one. with the policy, the complete policy staying as is, including the 2.5 of the 3-person committee?
There's not many options left. You could use that option that Councillor Sorensen just made. It is a different way to word as presented, but it was specific to what was actually struck. Rob had just put forward, because he can't put his hand up, he texted me and said it might be good to have a motion to call it reviewed. So do you want to review?
A motion to call the policy reviewed, just like an information.
If I could.
Yes, Rob, go ahead.
So my thought was that if the ultimate decision of council is that the policy will not have any changes, that if we simply had a motion that the policy was reviewed and would proceed without change, then we would have at least recorded that it has come back for its 4-year review. Sorry. If council's goal was for it to not change.
Well, I think, Mr. Tebow, just because of the 2 negative motions, it's back to, as you said, that everything stays in place related to the policy, correct?
Yeah, but what Rob is trying to do is get a positive motion to us.
That has been reviewed.
Yep.
All right, Councillor Becker?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I believe that we're breaking all kinds of rules here, all over the place. I think that the wisest thing for this council to do is to defer this to a next meeting. And I know the 6 months is into that, but we can preclude that by taking 5 out of 7, right?
Yes, you're right.
So if Mr. Mayor, if I may, I think I really strongly advise that. You don't even need a motion for that, actually. I can just ask for it to be put on the agenda for next meeting. That's correct. Notice of motion, yeah. So I think, Mr. Mayor, that's the proper way to do it. I think we're getting into some difficulties here that are not very acceptable. That's my view.
Yeah, I just think it's, like I said, because of the 2 type of motions, and it's, like I said, it's double negative, and it's virtually, everything stays the same, so I don't know. Councillor Becker is recommending that we bring it back.
Yep. Good.
Okay.
2 weeks, and then we do the, we vote on whether we can discuss it then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
That'll be fine, sir.
All right, on to item 7.3, council remuneration. Mr. Tebow.
Again, I'll ask Rob Osmond to walk through the information that council or that administration has gathered regarding other councils and present it to this council.
All right, Robbie, go ahead.
Thank you. So administration, in preparation for a discussion about council remuneration, has put together a series of information. The first piece that I will share with council as a reminder is that the current rates of council pay were established in 2020. At that time, a motion was made by council to have council remuneration rolled back 5%. And those rates have persisted since that time. So the last time they were, or before that, was 2017 when those rates were established. And so we're 5% lower than those 2017 rates. I put together a series of information for council. The first is the Alberta CPI. These numbers come from the economic dashboard of the government of Alberta, and it outlines the consumer price index for Alberta. And so what I did was I took the 2020 rates and increased them by the Alberta CPI for each of the last 5 years since the rate has been reviewed. reviewed, giving us what the rate would be if it had followed Alberta inflation over the last 5 years. Additionally, we gathered the information from the Alberta Municipalities Wage Survey. Every year, Alberta Municipalities does a survey of all its members across the province, and then categorizes them into sub-surveys. So the information that I presented here is part of the large town grouping, and it does show the minimum, maximum, median, and mean or average of municipalities in this group, and that's suggesting the mayor's average 58,953, deputy mayor 32,094, and councillor at 31,876. The survey also looks at per diem rates that shows the average per diem rate within that large towns group of 282. Additionally, we did regional comparison as outlined in the procedure. However, it is very difficult in that's the regional comparison in blue. When you're looking at the policies, it can be very difficult to run a comparison because the ways that municipalities choose to remunerate council are different municipality to municipality. So you can see there are some not availables or not applicables in that part of the chart. The final information that we put together for council is the regional comparison from the financial statements. So this is a set of towns that are similar to the town of Taber in terms of population. And we went right to the financial statements, which takes away some of the difficulties of comparison that we saw when we were comparing based on policy. Once we gathered that information, we sorted them by the compensation rate and then calculated the 25th, 50th, and 75th percentiles of both the mayor and councillor wages for your review. So that is the total of the information that I had put together for council regarding that information. Once we put all that together, administration did make the recommendation that we use the Alberta Municipalities Wage Survey average rates. So that's the mayor at 58,953 and councillors at 31,876. For the deputy mayor, because in that survey the deputy mayor and councillor are quite close together, it's a difference of just over $200 annually. In the recommendation, I did make the deputy mayor's role $500 per month greater than the councillor to recognize the added commitment that it takes when you have that role of deputy mayor. So that's the summary of the information that I prepared for council.
All right, thank you. Any questions arising? Councillor Firth?
Not a question, Mr. Mayor, but just a comment that I don't necessarily feel comfortable making a decision on council remuneration when we don't have a policy, if we're going to be discussing the policy at the next meeting. So I think it might be appropriate, and while I thank administration for the work and for all of the information, but I'd be more comfortable deferring it to a future meeting after we have the discussion about the policy.
All right, thank you. Councillor Sorensen?
Yeah, I was just going to make that same motion, so I would support that.
All right.
Oh, so I can make that motion? Sure. Okay. I'd like to direct administration to defer item 7.3 to a future council meeting.
All right, thank you. Motion on the table. Any further discussion? All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. All right. On to item 7.4, Chamber of Commerce Court Fest Service Request. Mr. Thibault.
I don't recall, or I don't remember council seeing this in the past from Cornfest. Administration does typically bring forward waiver requests and in-kind requests and things like that. So administration has been, and the council has been supporting Cornfest for many, many years. And administration thought it would just be appropriate to bring forward the in-kind contribution that is made by all the town employees in the form of the dollars and cents report that you saw in there, for no other reason than to just let council know that this is the type of support that you are providing and administration is providing for this to be a family-free event. And so that's why that's in front of council today.
All right, thank you, Councillor Bruin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. With that, I'm prepared to make a motion that council approves the in-kind support request from the Chamber of Commerce for the equipment, facilities, road closures, and staff support needed to make Cornfest 2025 a successful, free, family fun event.
Thank you. Motion on the table. Any further discussion? All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Moving on to item 7.5, First Time Hunters Program. Mr. Tebow.
So I don't have a bunch of information on this other than I know we've done it many times in the past from me looking backwards, but this will be the first time that I have seen it here. So I'd have to defer to council. I believe, Mr. Mayor, when we had our discussion, you recalled seeing such a thing. So I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Mr. Tebow. Yeah, basically, I'm not sure exactly what year it started, if that's in there at all, but this has gone on a number of times. I think I've seen this every time the last 3 terms that it's came up. And I think it's always been the 5-year contract agreement. So nothing's changed. Mr. Alan Herbst does a great job with youth and young hunters out there for teaching properly and having fun with it close to home. And it's been a really great program. And Mr. Herbst and any users definitely take great care in making proper use of that area as a result. So he's a great ambassador for the young hunters out there within our community and area. Councillor Renford.
As a product, thank you, Mr. Mayor, as a product of Mr. Alan Herbst's Hunter's Ed program, I'm willing to make this motion unless anybody has some other comments.
I think we have some from Councillor Sorensen, but Councillor Sorensen?
You can still make the
Okay,
motion.
If you like,
I'll let
yeah,
you.
sure, yeah.
Well, I was just wondering if it's a school program, if it's public or private. I've heard of the program, but I just like more information.
I believe it's open to the public. Mr. Herbst, as you're all aware, I believe, is a retired school teacher. So teaching kind of comes natural for him, but this is a great passion for him as well. So he always does a great job with it for sure. It's an ongoing training opportunity for youth in our area for sure. Councillor Renford?
Yes, I'm pretty sure it's not part of St. Mary's School or any school program. It would just be for any hunter, right? So I'll make a motion that a council authorize access to the town of Tabor's wastewater irrigation lines legally described as Northeast 351017 west of the 4th Meridian, Northwest 361017 west of the 4th Meridian, Southwest 361017 west of the 4th Meridian, Northwest 251017 west of the 4th Meridian, and Southwest 251017 west of the 4th Meridian by the First Time Hunters program during the month of November in the years 2026 to 2030, as requested by program leader Alan Herbst.
All right, thank you. Just clarify that, Mr. Tebow, those are completely accurate land locations in all 5 quarter sections? Okay.
I'm going to have to defer to administration to put them in there and say I believe that they
All
are
right,
correct.
perfect. Thank you. Yeah. All right, thank you, Councillor Renford. Motion on the table. Any further discussion? All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. On to item 7.6, standing item council requests. Mr. Tebow.
All right, if I could just pull up the listing here. It doesn't want to let me go down that low. Well, I'll go off the listing I have in front of me. So we've got Councillor Firth, who had asked to investigate the pedestrian safety between 52nd and 56th. We considered that complete last time. I had asked council if they'd heard anything more about that gravel road. Administration has heard nothing more about it. This is 2 weeks on, so I don't know if council has heard any more about that. You can let us know. Mayor Prokop's wheelchair accessibility swing, still in progress. Councillor Sorensen, it's a land use bylaw amendment that we're looking at from the planning perspective. I believe that's in relation to potentially more meetings happening so that we can speed things along through the MPC process. Still in progress. Councillor Sorensen asked about the ATM in the Civic Center. We consider that completed. I don't know that the machine is in yet, but it's definitely moving towards that. Councillor McLean looking into the cost and feasibility of installing recreation signage on along 864 for the Trout Pond Road, still in progress. And the last one, still in progress, is looking at the intersection for Barton Drive with regards to the Shoppers Drug Mart and No Frills and all the expansion over there. That is still in progress due to people's vacations and things like that. We weren't able to get together any sooner. So this Thursday, I believe, Friday. Oh, right, Friday for Councillor Firth. Thank you. The meeting is scheduled to happen, then, so it will get addressed at that meeting and be back to council at a later date.
All right,
That's
thank
all I
you.
have.
Any questions related to anything that's on the list and or any new stand item council requests? Councillor Sorensen?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's in regards to the landscaping or the boulevard along 50th Ave and 43rd Street. So along the walking trail by the hospital across the street there. Beautiful trees, beautiful shrubs. However, there's always weeds growing in the rocks. And I don't know if that's town property, and maybe administration first can answer that question.
Mr. Tebow?
I'm trying to picture where we are. 50th Avenue and 43rd Street.
So right across the hospital, there's the walking trail.
Oh, yes. Yes,
And
so
all
the
those
boulevard that's between the walking trail and 50th
Yeah.
would be our boulevard, correct?
Okay. So whoever did the landscaping perhaps maybe didn't put that black fabric down or something to prevent the weeds from growing. And I was wondering if I could make a motion for administration to come up with, back to council with a cost of re-landscaping that to control the weeds. Just laying some fabric down and just, because every year it just kind of looks like a jungle, and that is one of our main streets that the public does see like on a daily basis.
Right.
So I would like to beautify it a bit more.
All right, thank you. Councillor Bruin?
Just a question to Councillor Sorensen. Right as you leave the hospital's exit there then, and you're talking right there, right across the street
Well, it goes a little bit further down,
to the east-west.
right to the east, and then it would go all the way down to the west side, just before the private residence there, where
Right.
they just
Along
Yeah.
because I have noticed some work happening there the last couple of days.
They did, like
Yeah. And
So
I
I-
do agree with your concerns. There have been a lot of weeds there, especially where they have the wagon wheels and all that seen there, the old equipment.
Mm-hmm.
I have also noticed that, but I see that they've drained the pond at Westview and they were cleaning there today. Much needed time to do it. It was getting quite a bit of accumulation there, so I agree with what you're saying.
Okay,
Councillor
just to
Sorensen.
confirm, so that was your actual motion to suggest that?
Yeah, if that, plus you got my rambling, you deleted my rambling.
Could you just read the motion back there, please, Taylor?
Okay, so the motion would be that council directs administration to come back to council with a cost of re-landscaping this, which we might need to clarify, to control the weeds.
Okay, just to clarify the location, I guess,
Yeah,
to be
so I
clear.
would-
Okay.
I would go from, on 50th Ave, from 43rd Street, and then I guess I need that final, do I need that final?
That would be
Westview
right, yeah.
Boulevard,
Okay,
if that could be included in the motion,
great,
please.
thank you.
You did say something about the fabric to investigate or put fabric down.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I think there is fabric there, honestly. when they
There
did
could
that.
be, but, yeah. All right, we do have a motion on the table. Any further discussion? All in favor? Carried unanimously, thank you. Councillor Beckering?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I very seldom bring up anything on this particular item, but today I feel I must. I live in Heritage Estates. There's a green strip, that's a swear word, behind me, and Heritage Park is to the north of me. Hasn't seen a drop of water. I'd like to know
Is that
why.
right?
Doesn't anybody drive around and check this, or what's going on?
So actually, just this morning, Mr. Martin and the recreation folks did drive around to find out what was going on with that, and you're right, it hasn't seen a drop of water. Now, I didn't get a reason as to why, but recreation is aware that the water looked like it wasn't even turned on yet over in Heritage, and so it is being investigated, and it was noticed by recreation. I think it was late last week, and Brian drove out there today.
All right, thank you. Just to confirm, that is an underground sprinkler location, correct?
That's correct, Mr. Mayor, but, it's about $1 short and 4 weeks late.
Yeah,
So
well,
I-
yeah.
I'm not
Well-
very happy about this, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's a concern. Thank you for bringing that up, Councilor Beckering. All right, any other new standing item council requests? All right, seeing none, no delegations, meeting inquiries, Mr. Tebow?
There are none.
All right, just ask for a motion to move into our meal break and move back into closed session when we reconvene. Councilor McLean, motion on the table, all in favor? Carry now, thank you.